Coming back with another live stream. I'm here to tell you the real reason why President Trump mocked Rob Reiner and his wife after they were brutally murdered. Y'all know I'm going to bring out some sources. I'm going to bring out some evidence that points to something more nefarious happening than the initial story that we were told. I'm here to make you question everything. If you can stay tuned for this entire broadcast, I guarantee you're going to be edified. You're going to be a whole lot more aware of what's going on. And you're going to see through the charades and the smoke and mirrors. See, there's a lot happening right now. Friday, December 19th, they are set to release the Epstein files. Thursday night, the night before, Trump is set to have a huge conference where he's going to be addressing the world at 9 p.m. Get ready for the major distraction. Get ready for Trump to bring us to another war. Now, we're going to get into all of that in due time, but I want to show you the reason why Trump mocked and why Trump put out such disparaging remarks on Rob Reiner right after he was brutally murdered. Now, of course, you know, we go to the sources here. We got to understand what Rob Reiner was doing. Rob Reiner put out a very interesting documentary in 2024 called God and Country, where he was discussing the impact of Christian nationalism and how it affected far-right politics. He was uncovering white supremacy. He was bringing it out. But Rob Reiner was saying a lot of things. And also Rob Reiner was working on a 13-part episode that was going to be about Trump and Vladimir Putin and their whole entire criminal enterprise. So what we must understand is that Rob Reiner was a threat because he broke the rules of the elite. And that's never go against the power structure, which is white supremacy. Rob Reiner was specifically calling out America first. He was speaking avidly against Trump's policies, and it may have cost him his life. And I'm here to say that at this point, given the evidence that is beginning to surface, I'm not sure if Nick was the one who actually murdered them. And I'm going to show you my reasons why I believe that. Now, let's get into the real reason why Trump mocked Rob Reiner and his wife after they were savagely murdered. Hold on, let's go.
White House. We have a sexist in the White House, and he is tearing away at the fabric of our democracy.
The single most unqualified human being to ever assume the presidency of the United States. He's mentally unfit.
People always say, you know, he could redo all the family. I said, what do you mean? We're living it. We've got Archie in the White House. He always, when he quotes something that isn't him, and they're talking about Donald Trump, he goes, well, Donald Trump, every character is exactly the same. Well, Donald Trump, every time. And he always does that walk where he does like this, you know? Always.
The problem he has as far as I can see, is that he's a pathological liar. People have to understand our democracy is being taken away from us. Make no mistake, we have a year before this country becomes a full-on autocracy. This is not a political party anymore. I don't know what this is. I believe there's a Christian nationalist movement.
Now, he said he believed there's a Christian nationalist movement. Now, for those who have been tuning into my particular material, you know that I have been very actively speaking against the Christian nationalist movement and how it's what I would call fake Christianity that's really shrouded in racism, bigotry, hate, and they're hiding behind the Bible, but not actually following the Bible. Now, I want everybody to double tap the screen to get the likes up, because Reiner was also speaking against the Christian nationalist agenda. And being a successful Hollywood star and director with influence, which is the ability to write history through film, he placed a target on his back, speaking against these fake Christians, these racists, these bigots. And I truly believe that it cost him his life. I truly believe that. Now, I'm not saying that Rob is innocent in all this, because we're going to get into it. Because you don't make it to the position Rob made it to without taking certain oaths as well. So let me make this very clear. The game has been rigged. Let's continue.
That's very frightening. Do we want to continue democracy, or do we want to slip into fascism?
We have
He used the F word. He said, do we want a democracy, or do we want to slip into, you know what? The word that Trump hates. You know? The word that will get you labeled Antifa, which in actuality, the word Antifa just means anti-fascist. But nonetheless, they made it some group, and make no mistake about it, I don't align with any of these groups. But this was Rob Reiner was saying, and had the ability to put out content to validate his statements. Now it's more. It's more, y'all, because the rabbit hole goes deep. The rabbit hole goes deep. The rabbit hole goes deep because, as you can see, we've been experiencing a lot of celebrity deaths all at once. And I'm here to tell you it's all connected. It's all connected.
I just took a trip down that Rob Reiner rabbit hole, and none of this shit makes sense. I'm going to point out some things because the timing is crazy. Rob Reiner and his wife was murdered in their house by their son. Then you got a run of celebrities and high-profile people dying back-to-back in very short windows of time. Not months apart, not spread out, within the same week. We're talking about legendary actors, legendary singers. I'm talking about names that people actually recognize. Anthony Garrett, Peter Green, Rob Reiner and his wife. Mind you, those are just the ones people are talking about publicly. But the details about this Rob Reiner shit, they don't sit right with me. Now, mind you, this...
And some of the details that I discovered don't sit right with me as well. A lot of people don't understand that Eric actually checked into a hotel with his own credit card, stayed there, and there's footage, exclusive footage that I'm going to share with you all, where Eric is going into a convenience store, purchasing a drink, and he's walking out of that convenience store where he is then arrested outside of that convenience store. Now, Nick didn't have blood on his clothes. Nick did not look like a person who just murdered anyone. Somebody said Eric who? We're talking about Eric Reiner, the son of Rob Reiner. There's exclusive footage that doesn't really place him at the scene. And I question that. I believe that, what did I say? Eric, I meant Nick. Nick Reiner, my bad. Nick Reiner. Nick Reiner was not really placed at the scene. Nick had checked into a hotel. There's footage of Nick outside of in a convenience store, and I'm gonna play that exclusive footage as well. But we're gonna talk about it. Why did Trump really mock Rob Reiner?
This is for entertainment purposes only, information purposes only. You had an Obama go on television and say that they were supposed to meet with Rob the day that he lost his life. Then you start noticing coincidences. Rob Reiner and Anthony Gary both died on the same day. Same age, 78. They both worked on All in the Family together. That shit alone could be nothing, right? But patterns don't start with one coincidence. They start with two. Then things get crazy. An opera singer is reportedly stabbed to death by his own son. And then you look at Rob Reiner and his wife. Same method. Same outcome. And people are going to notice it, whether they're supposed to or not. Mind you, it's not just celebrities. Now, people die every day. That part is true. But people don't usually die like this close together, with this many similarities on how they left and how they're linked to each other. Now I want to know what you think. I'm out.
Now, y'all gotta understand that these individuals are playing a high caliber game here. You know that we're going into the winter time, the winter solstice. You know, they're worshiping their god Saturn. Here it is. Christmas is about to come up, you know, Saturnalia. And all of the rituals and blood sacrifices have to be conducted. And this whole father-son dynamic is also something that they're replaying. The Bondi Beach shooting. You have the same situation. Father and son collaborate. What are they trying to tell the public? See, they're operating in a set of codes and sequences. Now, these are the things that you got to pay attention to, right? Now, let's go here. Why did Trump mock Rob Reiner? Let's talk about the things that Rob Reiner was putting out on Trump. Let's go.
Complete and utter lying buffoon. I mean, I'm going to tell you the truth. He's a fraud. He lies. He cheats people. Everything that comes out of his mouth virtually is a lie. And he's a con man.
I mean, you know, and Rob Reiner was telling the truth about Trump. This is just the truth. Trump is a con man.
And if you look at what he's done with his career and how he's tricked people into things, it's abhorrent. I never liked George W. Bush, his policies, but I didn't hate the guy. I hate this man. I've never.
Now, notice he said he hates Donald Trump. He hated Donald Trump. Hated him. And look, I'm going to say this right now. He's not the only celebrity that hated Donald Trump. Before people get to saying, well, you know, Trump is justified with his rhetoric about Rob Reiner and his wife because, you know, Rob Reiner hated Trump. So I guess you're going to say Jim Carrey, if Jim Carrey was have an untimely death, you know, it's because he was against Trump. Or he deserved it. He deserved to be mocked in his death because he didn't like Trump, because he hated Trump. Or how about, Robert De Niro? Matter of fact, the list goes on and on. I got a whole list of Hollywood celebrities that hate Trump. I mean, they absolutely can't stand him. It's an entire list of them. Now, I want everybody to double tap your screen to get the likes up. Get the likes up on the video, because what we're going to break down is the reason why Trump actually was mocking Rob Reiner. Let's go.
I've never hated a politician. I can't not hate somebody who bilks innocent people out of money, life savings, And we've seen it. With that Trump University, he took people's money, $35,000, wiped these people out, and is being sued for it. He steals money from charities. I'm not making this stuff up. You have a complete and utter lying buffoon.
And see, I see somebody in the chat saying that this is Trump derangement syndrome. No, listen, when you have the president of the United States being a reality show star who has swindled and jugged and finessed his way into the office, you should expect that that person gets criticized. You should suspect that that person gets criticism. I mean, he is the so-called commander-in-chief of the country. He is leading the country. Now, like I said before, I am not letting Rob Reiner off the hook because y'all know what I do on this platform is I uncover it all. I have no horse in the race. Nubreed Global Truth platform is simply about the truth. So I'm going to bring some things out about Rob Reiner as well. Make no mistake about it. But we have to get into the nitty gritty here. We have to get into it. Look, Rob Schneider had comments against Trump. Should Rob Schneider be mocked in the event of his death?
We are allowed to have these conversations. We are allowed to disagree with the president and even say outrageous things that he said. I don't want to repeat them, but I think like the president yesterday, I think he must rise above it, and he seems incapable of rising above the situation and being the president of all of us and just saying what it was. Maybe he wasn't a fan of mine, but I was a fan of his. He made great films. He was a great artist, and leave it at that. And I think we must move away from this rhetoric of anger and hostility and not take everything personally. I mean, Rob Reiner and I, maybe we would disagree vehemently politically, but we can agree comedically. We can agree on what made those movies so funny that he made. We are allowed to have these conversations. We are allowed to disagree with the president.
See, there was other people who disagreed with Rob Reiner and his political views. But they didn't go as far as Trump, right? They didn't go as far as Trump. Now, I want you to consider something. What Trump is about to do right now, well, December 17th, what Trump is about to announce. Because this guy points it out. They don't want them Epstein files released. I'm telling you, they don't want them released.
Donald Trump is addressing the nation on the 17th of December at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You know what that reminds me of?
On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war.
Now, Trump already talking about fentanyl being weapons of mass destruction. He's already speaking war language. Trump is already throwing out war terms. We know that these files are set to be released on the 19th, and you have Trump wanting to sit down with the nation a day before. Pay attention to this.
Veterans that fought in the war on terror can see right through this and see what it is.
And that was the same day that George Bush did the same thing.
Prime time addresses is a time where the president addresses the nation, where a moment is pivotal to the nation. Think 9/11. Think the Cuban Missile Crisis. Think about things like that. The Epstein files are due on the 19th of December. And it seems like a perfect time to start whatever he is starting in the Caribbean. I'm calling on Congress to immediately demand that Donald Trump seeks permission before we get into a war with anybody. Congress must authorize military force. Donald Trump is addressing the nation.
Now, these are things we got to pay attention to because somebody said it. Trump got too many fires burning right now. He got too many fires burning. He's all over the place. They're doing their celebrity blood sacrifices. They're doing a lot of things. but the files still have to be released. Here's another celebrity who speaks very much against Trump. Are we saying that he deserves to be mocked in the event of his untimely demise?
I'll say one thing. Fuck
Robert De Niro. What did Robert De Niro say?
Trump. It's no longer down with Trump. It's fuck Trump.
Criticism of you. Fuck him. Okay, well, you know, this is Kate.
Sorry. He's a punk. He's a dog. He's a pig. He's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt. He's an idiot. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this country. I'd like to punch him in the face. Punch him in the face. Of course I want to punch him in the face.
Right.
He's so stupid. Divisive, racist, misogynist, ignorant, stupid. He's a lowlife. A national disgrace. That scumbag. He's sick. Total loser. Fake president. Gangster. First family. Psychopathic, malignant narcissist. Narcissistic and self-centered. He's just obtuse. He's dumb. So stupid. When he's in jail, and that I certainly am looking forward to, take him away in an orange jumpsuit. I'm going to say one thing. Fuck Trump.
Yo, Robert De Niro do not care, bro. Hey, and I'm telling you, look, there's a lot of Hollywood who really do not like Donald Trump. All right? And nothing these guys are saying is wrong about him. You know, that's the thing. But see, the difference between these guys and Rob Reiner is Rob Reiner had the ability to be able to actually produce films and was in the works of putting out a documentary on Trump. Rob Reiner had a lot of Hollywood stars that would have worked with him to go against Donald Trump. That was a threat because what is Trump trying to do right now? Rewrite history. Rewrite history. And I'm going to say this too. I'm going to say this as well. Like a lot of you all may be watching, believing that, well, this guy here, this commentator here must be a liberal. No, I'm not. I'm simply a person who believes in right and wrong, not right or left. I'm not on any side. You know, I'm all about the truth. Simple as that. And the truth is, the Democrats or the Republicans, neither one have a comprehensive plan for Black America. And since neither one of them have a plan for us, I choose to just be anti-system and pro-truth. That's what you get on this platform here, in case you're just joining. Now, what I'm about to show you, it's a very interesting clip I caught. And I talk about this. I talked about how within the Hollywood elite, they all take these oaths. And Rob Reiner is no different because how did he get to the position he got to? He produced and directed several major films in Hollywood, aka Hollyweird. And you don't make it to Hollyweird without some type of rituals, some type of sacrifices. That's just the name of the game. It's the beast. It's the beast. Now, I want to go here. Now, mind you, right here, this is one of those roast sessions. Y'all know how they be doing these little Hollywood roast. And it was some very weird things said in this roast that raised some red flags to me. And I don't like what I heard, right? I don't like what I heard. I don't see how this could be funny, how this could be taken as a joke. And I want y'all to hear this out because I'm always going to keep it a buck with y'all when I do my deep dives and my research. Listen here.
Night, Carl would slip into Rob's bed, roll him over, swab him down. Carl started inviting many of his famous friends to son. And that list includes some of the greats in comedy. Paul Lynde. Dom DeLuise. Rip Taylor. Danny Kaye. Charles Nelson Riley and Rock Hudson, who it's been a great evening, and thank you for doing so much to make sure that no other kid ends up like you.
But there are a lot of rumors that
Now, this is weird stuff. Now, we know that this is disturbing. This is weird. And I believe that they were accusing Carl of doing this to Rob. Not necessarily Rob doing this to Nick, but could it have been some family tradition that was passed down where these individuals carry out these rituals? And we can look at Nick and see that he's a little bit flamboyant. And, you know, these are the things that these people joke about in these Hollywood elite circles. Could have been some, it said his dad, Carl. His dad, Carl, might have did that to Rob. Because there's been rumors, just only rumors, that Rob Reiner done some things to Nick or had things done. But in this roast, the only evidence that I found was this roast where they were saying that this happened to Rob. Now, it could be a joke, a very sick joke. Very, very sick joke. But these are the things I look at, and I look at how weird Hollywood is, and I have to point out things like this just to show you that I'm willing to be completely transparent about everything that's being researched here. I'm going to play this one more time and go to the next source.
he actually did something to Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. I think they came out and said something. Not claiming anything. Just talking about rumors. That's all this is. Rumors.
On a typical night, Carl would slip into Rob's bed, roll him over, swab him down. Carl started inviting many of his famous friends to son.
I mean, you know, Rob is laughing about this. I don't understand what's funny about that. That's not something that, I don't know why Rob is sitting there laughing at this. It's ultra weird, right? But this is Hollywood. This is Hollywood.
And that list includes some of the greats in comedy. Paul Lynde. Dom DeLuise. Rip Taylor. Danny Kaye. Charles Nelson Riley and Rock Hudson, who it's been a great evening, and thank you for doing so much to make sure that no other kid ends up like you.
But there are a lot of rumors that he actually did something to Corey Feldman and...
You see, this is what I'm saying. Hollywood is just a weird place, man. Very weird place. Now, we got to get into this.
I got totally spun out on uppers. I think it was coke and something else, and I was up for days on end, and I started punching out different things in my guest house.
Like a frame? Like what? Like a stuff?
No, I think I started with the TV, and then I went over to the lamp, and then progressive. Everything in the guest house got wrecked.
Did you punch the TV?
Yeah, I literally punched the TV.
Did you like lacerate your hands? I mean, that sounds bad.
Did you hurt yourself?
I don't even remember at this point.
So it's clear that, you know, Nick had a drug problem. He let it be known. He's very open about this. He had the proclivity to be violent. We do have all that evidence. But there's some things that I want to point out, right? There's some things I want to point out because there's some interesting details about the death of Rob Reiner and wife that I find suspicious.
With Rob and Michelle Reiner, and I'm very sorry for your loss.
Oh my God.
How long have you known the Reiners?
We've known them for many, many years, and we were supposed to be seeing them that night, last night. And we got the news. And let me just say this, unlike some people, Rob and Michelle Reiner are some of the most decent, courageous people you ever want to know. They're not deranged or crazed. What they have always been are passionate people in a time when there's not a lot of courage going on. They were the kind of people who were ready to put their actions behind what they cared about.
And now we got Michelle Obama saying some very interesting things here. Because look, the media is trying to convince us that Rob Reiner's death wasn't political at all. But the political alignment has already been set. So now you got the Obamas coming out saying, look, they were going to show up at our house the day of. And then they spoke about them being courageous, as if they were going against something that would jeopardize their freedom, life, livelihood, so on and so forth. Why did she use the word courageous? I mean, Michelle almost gave us a narrative as if that Rob was in danger. And it was almost like he was going to the Obamas to seek political asylum. I mean, this could really be taken that way. Very strange.
And they cared about their family, and they cared about this country, and they cared about fairness and equity. And that is the truth. I do know them.
With Rob and Michelle Reiner, and I'm very sorry for your loss.
Oh my God.
How long have you known the Reiners?
We've known them for many, many years, and we were supposed to be seeing them that night, last night. And we got the news. And let me just say this, unlike some people, Rob and Michelle Reiner are some of the most decent, courageous people you ever want to know. They're not deranged or crazed. What they have always been are passionate people in a time when there's not a lot of courage going on. They were the kind of people who were ready to put their actions behind what they cared about. And
they were willing to put their actions behind what they cared about
their family, and they cared about this country.
And they cared about their family, and they cared about this country. They were willing to put actions out behind what they cared about. There was a documentary coming on Trump. They were going to be exposing the white supremacy structure. And the Obamas are the last people you should trust. So if this is true, if Rob Reiner was about to go have dinner with the Obamas, that could have been a fatal mistake that cost them their lives. That could have been it. Muammar Gaddafi trusted Barack Obama. And what happened to him? I'm sure that the Obama chef trusted the Obamas. But what happened to him? You cannot trust the Obamas. Simple as that. They are all part of the satanic cabal. And this is just the truth. What did Barack Obama do to Muammar Gaddafi when he found out that Muammar Gaddafi was trying to get a gold standard for his country, get them clean drinking water, put in an ecosystem for his people. Obama had him murdered, executed. Well, hey, you got to know you got to do your research. When Joan Rivers questioned the authenticity of Michelle Obama's gender and made it public, what happened to Joan Rivers shortly after? Yeah, she died shortly after. Yeah, there's a lot connected here, a lot that we got to pay attention to.
But there were, a lot of factory workers who lost their jobs. And Trump, said, I'm going to bring those factory jobs back. And we knew that wasn't true. Everybody knew that wasn't true. And he's a huckster, and he's a great huckster. He's like the best snake oil salesman ever. It's poisonous for this country because there's no guarantee that democracy survives forever. There's no guarantee. We're just people and laws. So if you destroy the structure, you destroy the laws, you could wind up with an autocracy, and that's where we're headed right now. Mm-hmm. But there were, a lot of factory workers who lost their jobs, and Trump, said, I'm going to bring those factory jobs back, and we knew that wasn't true. Everybody knew that wasn't true. And he's a huckster, and he's a great huckster. He's like the best snake oil salesman ever. It's poisonous for this country because there's no guarantee that democracy survives forever. There's no guarantee. We're just people and laws. So if you destroy the structure, you destroy the laws, you could wind up with an autocracy.
And that's what we're facing, an autocracy, a full-blown totalitarian government. A dictatorship is what we on the verge of. And Rob was calling this stuff out. There's a lot of unearthed footage that is bringing a lot of clarity to why Trump mocked his death the way he did. There's a lot of footage coming out.
Deep down, he trusted that we loved him and that we were there for him.
Well, I think I'm lucky in the sense that I have parents that care about me, and because of that, when I would go out and do, things like drugs and stuff like that, I'd feel a tremendous amount of guilt because I'd think, oh, they're thinking about me right now. They want me to do good. And most people don't have, not most people, but some people don't have parents that are, have any interest in them.
Yeah. Now, by the way, we're talking with Nick Reiner and his father, Rob Reiner. Nick had a drug issue in his teens and beat it and wrote a movie about it. His dad directed it. And
deep down, he trusted that we loved him and that we were there for him, and that put a little bit of a brake on certain things. I mean, it's a desire to survive, and that put a little, and I think that's where we made the mistake, is that we didn't trust that he had that.
If you supported him as opposed to
you
were punishing him.
Yes, we were definitely
meaning like
punishing
grounding him. You can't use the car. You got to stay home. All that
just
stuff.
The whole idea of
so as you can see,
throwing him into
as you can see, their dynamics seem to be a loving parent-son dynamic. The thought that Nick just butchered his parents, I'm finding it very tough to digest that narrative that they're pushing. I really am. Even though, like Kim C says, the son does give me Dahmer and Dexter vibes at the same time. I mean, we can't lie. He does look like the actual prototype for these individuals. I mean, I can't hold you on that, but when you hear them talk, it doesn't, I don't know, man. It's like he's too perfect of the fall guy. He's just too perfect. He may be an MK Ultra victim. I don't know, but let's go.
a rehab place, just saying, okay, and there's a punitive aspect.
But if you hadn't done that, how could you treat him you couldn't treat him on your own?
No, not on our own, but we could have maybe just worked with him with a therapist and, been a little bit more active in that way. I think we just overreacted, but I mean,
Nick,
I love hearing that he said that because I knew he has that in him. And there's a part of him that wants to survive and he doesn't want to, kill himself, right? Deep down,
you hear that?
He trusted that we loved him.
Yeah, he looked like it's just lights on, nobody home. You know what I'm saying? Anybody you just see like that just be sitting there with their mouth open all the time, you gotta look out for people like that. Just be all mouth open all the time. Because Diddy do the same thing. Just be looking off with their mouth open. I don't know, man. Diddy do the same damn thing, y'all. And these are things to consider. But let's make it clear. All of Hollywood got a problem with Donald Trump. They all got something to say about Trump. So are we to say that all these people deserve to be brutally murdered because they don't like Trump?
And covering for this president is like putting makeup on a melanoma. Not only unsightly, but it's dangerous. I see that everybody's a hypocrite because everybody's imagined themselves standing there with his head. You know what I mean? Maybe at least half the country. We're in a tough spot. It's a very, very divided world, and those on I guess you'd call it the left side. I just call it the sensible side. We're sitting there watching this nonsense happen, and people come out and talk about it like we're kindergartners. And covering for this president is like putting makeup on a melanoma.
And you're right, man. Anybody covering for Trump, you clearly, you want to see the world in moral disarray. You want to see the country in moral disarray. Anybody who is literally trying to capitulate and acquiesce for Donald Trump at this current dispensation of time, you are part of the problem. I have to tell you that you're part of the problem. Gladiator, thank you for the support. Says they have to put the blame on someone and push the father and son narrative. And they probably been setting up the son for him to take out his dad. I agree. There's something more to what we're being told. It's something more than what we are being told. And that is for sure. Interesting.
So we found out that Nick was actually staying at the Pierside Santa Monica Hotel, that he checked in 4 a.m. on Sunday using his own credit card. Apparently, according to people who saw him at the hotel, said he kind of appeared like he was maybe on drugs or tweaking out. And essentially, he checked in for a single night on his credit card. It wasn't like he had, booked online or whatever. He just showed up to the hotel and said, I want to stay here a night. And then he never checked out.
And at this point in time, so at 4 a.m. on Sunday, do we know if the murders had taken place or not?
We don't know, but
they didn't see blood on him when he checked in.
Yeah, so it to me, and again, this is just speculation. I would say that
there was no blood on him when he checked out Sunday night, and I got exclusive footage of when they actually came and arrested Nick. And it just does not strike me as someone who just brutally murdered his parents, slit their throats, and all of that. It just doesn't sit right, right?
Allegedly, it would have occurred after this. After he had checked in, he went back to the house.
Because later, when the LAPD, discovered this hotel room, there was blood apparently in the shower, all around the hotel room,
and the sheets were covering the windows.
It's a bit paranoid. You could put sheets over your hotel window.
Yeah, so we found out that Nick was
So they're claiming that, but this was afterwards. So did he come back to the hotel to clean himself up? There's a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions that need to be answered. A lot of questions that need to be answered. But nonetheless, did Rob Reiner deserve what he got? Because he had an issue with Trump? Well, let's look. It's more celebrities. A lot of celebrities that speak against Trump.
This is the president of the United States of America. Yes. You have to have empathy. You have to care about people. He does not care about anybody but Donald J. Trump. Because he's never demonstrated anything. This man lies.
Yeah,
And he gets away with it. We're talking about, though, a man that is destroying my country.
Right.
Destroying it. The environmental laws. I mean, come on. We are the only country
That's
that
not
pulled
right.
out of the Paris Accords. Come on.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't
But
follow the
that's-
politics that much. All
Yeah,
I
but
know
you
is
must.
that I live there every
But
now
you
and then.
must.
I got a house there.
But you have to follow it because you have to understand what he's doing. He is not a good person.
Right.
This is the president of the United States of America. Yes. You have to have empathy. You have to care about people. He does not care about anybody but Donald J. Trump. Because he's never demonstrated anything. This man lies.
Yeah,
And he gets
Brooklyn,
away with
yeah.
it. We're talking about, though, a man that is destroying my country.
Right.
Destroying it. The environmental laws. I mean, come on. We are the only country
That's
that
not
pulled
right.
out of the Paris Accords. Come on.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't
What?
follow the
That's-
politics.
So, I mean, are we going to say if something happens to Jamie Lee Curtis, she deserved to be mocked and scoffed by our president because she doesn't like Donald Trump? So let me get this right. Anybody who go against MAGA in this country deserves to be brutally murdered, because that's pretty much what Trump's message was putting across. That's what Trump was practically saying in his post. How about Woody Harrelson?
I wish there were a way to get rid of that sort of and get in a great president, you know, but doesn't seem like that's going to happen, and I don't know how much he's going to continue to foment hatred. We have a guy running this country who has unearthed a lot of bigotry and a lot of racism, and it seems to be more virulent than ever. So, yeah, it's strange how it seems like we're going backwards.
There's something created about him.
How about Johnny Depp? He deserved it too, huh? If Johnny Depp gets brutally murdered, then Johnny Depp deserve it because he's talking about how awful of a president that Donald Trump is.
Sensitive belief, but what he is, I believe, is a brat. Brat. The absurdity of where his sentences might travel. You know, I mean, really, no. I mean, no. Because everything is mine. Even if I don't own it yet, I'll have it. Reagan back in the day, Mr.
So does all of Hollywood have Trump derangement syndrome, or are they just using their influence and their following to speak their mind on what they believe and what they think about the president, which they have all the right to do? You know, just because Trump can come up with a term, does that make it something that really exists? No. We would listen on this platform here. We were talking a whole lot about Joe Biden, too. The president has to be able to be criticized in a free country.
Tear down that wall, Donald Trump. I'm going to build a wall, a fabulous wall, sensational wall.
Do you think there might be
How about Michael Shannon? Does he deserve it?
surprise out of all this? That maybe he will turn good?
No, he's an idiot. He's a total idiot. He's not my president. I will never call him the president of the United States. I will never say that. I really, more than anything, I hope the rest of the world is able to forgive us for what happened and understand that this is not who the majority of Americans seems to be leading America. It's a mistake. It's a travesty, and we apologize. I'm apologizing to the United States of America, to the rest of the world for what happened, because it's a nightmare. I wish there were a way to get rid of
Now, let's hear some of the things that Rob Reiner was putting out there, y'all.
know why we got to break down the law and order in this country, Archie? Because we got poverty, real poverty. And you know why we got that? Because guys like you are unwilling to give the black man, the Mexican American, and all the other minorities American dream.
And that's the facts. Now, he was saying this way back in the day. And what he just said is the absolute truth. The colonizers are the real illegals. Those who came over here and used our hard work and labor and built off of the backs of the slaves and the indigenous people want this American dream. They want to make America great while at the same time diminishing and withholding the people who built it. And Rob was saying this back in the 70s. See, this is how I know he was a Hollywood ritual. I don't agree on his take on gay marriage. I don't agree on all his political takes. But I can see why he was a target.
Who said he wasn't smart? That's beautiful, Michael, beautiful.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Now, let me tell you something. If you spit, want their rightful share of the American dream, let them get out there and hustle for it just like I did.
Yeah, but Archie, you're forgetting one thing. You didn't have to hustle with a black skin.
No, I didn't have to hustle with one arm and one leg neither. So what?
So you're admitting that the black man is handicapped.
Oh, no more than me. He's just as good as me.
Wait, now I suppose you're going to tell me that the black man has had the same opportunity in this country as you?
More. He's had more. I didn't have no million people out there marching and protesting to get me my job.
No, his uncle got it for him.
You know why we got to break down the law?
Yo, you know, this was some interesting dialect in this particular show right here. Because it was so relevant then and it's so relevant now. It was relevant then and it's relevant now. Telling you now. But then then people want to come together and vouch for Trump. You know, Mr. Blowing Bubba. Let me show you the footage that Trump ain't want y'all to see. Mr. Blowing Bubba.
You know, you're really beautiful. And a woman that looks like that has to have her own special set.
Hey, where you at, MAGA? Don't tell me y'all never seen this footage right here, MAGA.
Oh, thank you. Maybe you could tell me what you think of this thing.
I like that.
This may be the best of all. Oh, you drinking fun. Oh. Donald, I thought you were a gentleman.
You can't say I didn't try.
Disgusting. Ugh. And this is y'all's guy. No, this is y'all's guy. Yeah, this is what your Hollywood superstar Donald Trump was into. Yeah, Trump was out here after that Bucci meat. Ugh. Yeah, hey, listen. Now we trying to understand why Trump was up on that in that email, and they were talking about him blowing Bubba. See? Yeah, Trump had a whole lot of weird things going on. Somebody said that was a skit. Yeah, I know. But somebody come get Bubba over here. Yeah, you ain't know Trump was a official bussy bandit out here in these streets? Oh, man, see, look, I don't think MAGA be doing their research. Don't go nowhere now, MAGA. Nah, don't try to slide about the room now that your American Idol is being exposed. Nah, don't go nowhere now.
You know, you're really beautiful. A woman that looks like that has to have her own special set.
Oh, thank you. Maybe this way.
I like that.
This may be the best of all. Oh, you take it going. Oh. Donald, I thought you were a gentleman.
You can't say I didn't try.
Oh, he definitely tried, y'all. He tried it. Trump tried it. He tried to get he tried to go through the court system to have this stuff removed. This footage right here. He had to go through the court system to try to get this removed, but we still got it. So, I mean, look, we allowed to criticize Trump. Excuse me.
I live like a...
And for everybody who says Nubreed, people celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. Charlie Kirk was a good God-fearing Christian. And Charlie Kirk was not racist at all. That's what y'all say. Y'all say Charlie Kirk was such a kind young man. That's what y'all say to me. Y'all say Charlie Kirk was a kind young man. He wasn't racist. And I dare you say that you didn't care for Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm going to make it clear. There were people who celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. I wasn't one of those. I was a person who made it very clear who Charlie Kirk was. I made it very clear who Charlie Kirk was, what he represented. And I was not upset when he passed away. I did not care. But here's the truth of how Charlie Kirk was. Everybody say Charlie Kirk wasn't racist. I dare you say he was racist.
Capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe.
No.
What do? I get dirty every single year. Hold on. Myself, less than his. Come on, Shank, let's go. I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe.
Hold on now. Why he call that little Chinese man a chink? Isn't that a racist, derogatory term? And then he say he lived his life as a capitalist. He didn't say he lived his life as a Christian every day. He said he lived his life as a capitalist every day. And guess what? I said that Candace Owens is a capitalist too. Erica Kurt's a capitalist. Donald Trump's a capitalist. But they all hide behind Christian nationalism. They don't actually follow Christ. These are capitalists. So, like, when people sit up here and say Charlie Kirk, nobody knew who Charlie Kirk was. He wasn't this. I mean, like, Charlie Kirk was a racist. You don't just be hurling obscenities at people. Yeah. And look, that's a good point to me. It says it's okay to mourn Charlie Kirk, but please do not be upset to hear people's opinions on what he stood for. Exactly. So people are trying to make the Charlie Kirk situation and Rob Reiner situation the same, and it's not. Rob Reiner was more on the auspice of racial equality. Rob Reiner displayed himself as a person who was about social justice, togetherness, unity, giving the blacks and Mexicans a fair shake. Charlie Kirk was about this.
What do? I get dirty every single year. Hold on. Myself, less than his. Come on, Shank, let's go. I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay?
So when Charlie Kirk passed away, he got the energy that he was putting out. Rob Reiner, on the other hand, was not behaving this way. So I have to show you the difference between the two. Charlie Kirk was vulgar, racist, antagonistic. Rob Reiner was not that. So that I'm clear. So that I'm clear. Let's go. Now this is Nick. This is Nick Reiner right before his arrest. I want you to see if y'all notice anything.
Surveillance footage shared with NBC4 shows 32-year-old Nick Reiner walking across the Arco gas station in Exposition Park Sunday evening, wearing a green and black jacket, jeans, a black hat, and carrying a red backpack. Reiner then enters the AM/PM store, walks through the aisles, and then heads to the refrigerator to grab a drink. The store owner confirming it was a Gatorade. Reiner then waits in line to pay and exits, spending only about 2 minutes inside. You then see Reiner casually walk down Exposition Boulevard, crossing Vermont Avenue, and then turns left on Vermont, crossing the metro tracks. Reiner is then seen standing on the sidewalk along Exposition, right in front of a USC student housing building. In this next shot, you see the police drive by, and then 10 seconds later, turn around. Within seconds, he's surrounded by multiple police cars. Reiner raises his hands and surrenders. Next, you see multiple officers approach Reiner and arrest him.
Now, could it be that he had bloody clothes in the bag? When did he get time to change clothes? He did look like he was in somewhat of a, I don't know, some type of disarray, but it looks staged. Something looks staged. Is it me? Am I tripping? Or is everything that we've seen this past week look like something that is just set up? And is he beginning to look like the perfect scapegoat? Chat Liveman says, yeah, you tripping. Somebody says it's not staged. Somebody says, no, it does look staged. Somebody said, you're speaking facts. Someone says, I agree. Something ain't right about this whole situation. Yeah, I'm looking at the perfect patsy. Let's play this again.
Surveillance footage shared with NBC4 shows 32-year-old Nick Reiner walking across the Arco gas station in Exposition Park Sunday evening, wearing a green and black jacket, jeans, a black hat, and carrying a red backpack. Reiner then enters the AM/PM store, walks through the aisles, and then heads to the refrigerator to grab a drink. The store owner confirming it was a Gatorade. Reiner then waits in line to pay and exits, spending only about 2 minutes inside. You then see Reiner casually walk down Exposition Boulevard, crossing Vermont Avenue, and then turns left on Vermont, crossing the metro tracks. Reiner is then seen standing on the sidewalk along Exposition, right in front of a USC student housing building. In this next shot, you see the police drive by, and then 10 seconds later, turn around. Within seconds, he's surrounded by multiple police cars. Reiner raises his hands and surrenders. Next, you see multiple officers approach Reiner and arrest him.
Somebody says something very interesting. It says, how do you stage a murder and police agree on staging? Absolutely. J-Song. Absolutely. LAPD are corrupt. LAPD are like Hollywood police. I don't know no other way to put it. Like, the LAPD operate with a whole nother set of rules. And a lot of things that we see that happen in Hollywood are staged. It's made for TV type of stuff. I mean, there literally be crisis actors set up on scene. There will literally be street theater being performed. And the LAPD will know that, okay, this was a production. I'm just saying, man, I don't trust nothing that's coming out of Hollywood. I don't trust nothing that comes out of Hollywood. I'm telling you. Hold on. I don't trust none of it.
New details are coming out about where Nick Reiner went after the murders of his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner. Nick reportedly checked into a Santa Monica hotel around 4 a.m. Sunday, just hours after a heated argument with his father at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. Sources say Nick used his credit card to check into the Pierside Santa Monica and appeared tweaked out, though witnesses did not see injuries or blood on him at the time. The reservation was for one night.
No injuries, no blood. Nobody ever seen him with injuries or blood on him at all. All we seen was him going to get a Gatorade. He's leaving out. Police come pick him up.
But Nick never checked out. When hotel staff entered the room later that morning, they reportedly found the shower filled with blood on the bed, and the window covered with bed sheets. LAPD robbery homicide detectives later.
Now, how did the hotel room get full of blood? The tub, I guess they're trying to say he washed the clothes off. I mean, why would, I just don't understand. So it was a tub full of blood. So riddle me this. We got to find out how far the hotel was away from his parents' house. Did he go check into a hotel, go murk his parents, slit their throats, go back to the hotel where he did what? Change his clothes at the hotel? I'm saying if he did it at home, if he did it at his parents' house, why didn't he get rid of the clothing, before going to the hotel? Why didn't he change clothes? Why was it blood? I don't understand. He could have threw the clothes down a sewer drain. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's something missing here. It's extremely strange, right? Is he just a pawn?
Later went to the hotel to collect evidence and interview employees. Nick was eventually located and arrested about 20 miles away in Exposition Park near downtown Los Angeles. The investigation into the killings of Rob and Michelle Reiner is ongoing.
What if Nick didn't do it? What if it was a political hit and Nick is the scapegoat? I'm serious. Is it possible? Is it possible, people? These are the things that you got to consider.
We have a president who started out when the country was together and had a wonderful leader, and he is tearing us limb from limb, destroying every institution.
Let's talk about this Donald Trump, even though we don't want to. Let's bring it on the panel.
Yeah. He's a car salesman. He's a used
con
car
man,
salesman.
absolutely.
And he's, he didn't make America great again, but he did turn back the odometer.
And so, does Jim Carrey deserve to be brutally murdered? Because he doesn't like Trump. And see, these are the things we got to consider. These are the things we got to consider, y'all. Oh, my bad. It looks like we're seeing a lot of political theater going on. A lot of political theaters going on. And what is Trump going to be announcing tomorrow night? Whatever it is going to be something huge. Whatever it is, it perhaps will stop the Epstein files from being released. Somebody said Trump out here sending hits. I would not put that past him. I would not put that past him. In case y'all didn't know, man, in case you didn't know, I'm going to go play this audio here. There was a documentary coming out that Rob Reiner was about to release.
EJ, any chance of on a Trump type of thing, like a crime drama, perhaps?
Well, I'm working on a project, and I'll tell you, and I haven't told anybody about it.
Okay, here we go.
But I'm working on a project, and I haven't got the go-ahead yet, but I'm working on a project called The Spy and the Asset. And it's all about, Putin and Trump, and it takes them from their childhoods up to the point where they cross, and what happens to these two, and what happens to democracy as a result of this convergence. And I'm working with a really great writer named Ward Perry on it, who used to work for The Guardian, and a really great writer. And we're going to go out to the various buyers after the 4th of July and see if anybody will be interested in it. I want to do it because, to me, it's like the first cut at history. Right. You know, we're taking the first real cut at history with it.
I hope it gets made. It sounds compelling. I can see it. You've got some great track record. And there are so many outlets now that it doesn't have to be in the theaters anymore, as we know. I'm not telling you.
No, this would be a multi-part series. You know, it would be, 10 to 13 episodes, a whole, to really look at their lives and how they intersected eventually.
So here you have, it was a 13-part series that Rob Reiner was about to put out on Donald Trump. I'm talking about, this would have been like a T. Diddy documentary. I'm talking about, he already had half of Hollywood who hates Trump. So he would have been able to have the influence behind whatever he put out, and they would have been able to write history. See, the so-called elite and powers that be, they understand the power of Hollywood and how they can actually write history, the influence and impact that they could have had. So you got to consider here, he dies, and the first person who practically celebrates is Trump. Let's go to Trump's post, because there was some codes behind that. What Trump posted, because some of y'all are probably unaware what Trump actually posted. And we got to go over that. Somebody said it. That post was disturbing. It was. Hold on. Let's get an actual news clip with the words in there. Because he completely mocked this man.
The legend. They also took aim at perhaps his biggest critic.
I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all.
Hold on. Let's get the actual post. Are they going to show that comment?
In any way, shape, or form. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned.
Insulting someone who's just been murdered, who leaves children behind, it's so hateful and vile.
President Trump doubled down on slamming Rob after claiming he and his wife died from anger caused by, quote, a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS.
Come on. There's only one person who's suffering from TDS, and we know who that is. It makes me sick to my stomach.
What you said and what you've doubled down on make you bad for the country.
Because you disagree with people doesn't mean that you have to hate people. I think Rob Reiner is a great patriot.
Actor James Woods, who has praised Trump, was on Fox News defending his Ghosts of Mississippi director.
I judge people by how they treat me, and Rob Reiner was a godsend in my life. He doesn't agree with me either, but he also respects my patriotism. We had a different path to the same destination, which was a country we both loved.
Rob and Michelle Reiner are some of the most decent, courageous people you ever want to know. They're not deranged or crazed. What they have always been are passionate people. They were the kind of people who were ready to put their actions behind what they cared about.
He's a pathological liar.
While the Reiners were vocal against the president, ironically, Michelle was the photographer who shot the cover photo for Trump's book, The Art of the Deal.
You know, Rob and I tend to egg each other on in this department. He would be out in the trenches doing whatever he could right now for this election.
When E.T. visited the Reiners at home in 2004, Michelle got real while praising her husband's political involvement.
He's amazing. He's done great things. Who would be...
And they trying to convince us that Rob Reiner's death wasn't political. And it should be clear that it was very much political. And the Obamas, they aligned themselves. His death, the timing of it all, and what's happening afterwards prove that.
A great president? He would be a great president. But do I want that? No.
Now, I'm going to go to my ex real quick. Some things I'm going to share with y'all. Because, you know, over here on Nubreed Global Truth, you're going to get deep dives, real research. You know that we're going to be coming with the sources. Make sure y'all double tap the screen, get the likes up. Let's run the numbers all the way up. And let's build on this. Let's build on it. Because we got breaking news.
Land, oil rights, whatever we had, they took it away because...
We got breaking news. Trump is he's already, I'm telling you, he's priming to go to war with Venezuela.
Getting land, oil rights, whatever we had, they took it away because we had a president that maybe wasn't watching. But they're not going to do that. We want it back. They took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out, and we want it back. Getting land, oil rights, whatever we had, they took it away because we had a president that maybe wasn't watching. But they're not going to do that. We want it back. They took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know,
So you know when they start talking about oil, you already know that that's war talk because that's what they go to war for, the oil, the resources. Venezuela government. Let me see here. The Venezuela government, they're getting ready. Days of announcements.
Hoy estamos más fuertes que ayer. Hoy estamos más preparados para defender la paz, la soberanía y la integridad territorial que ayer.
I'm telling you, there's going to be a war announcement very soon, y'all. Very soon. Very soon. To try to stop these Epstein files from coming out.
Not going to let anybody going through that shouldn't be going through. You remember they took all of our energy rights. They took all of our oil.
No, this is how it starts. Trump now in Venezuela. They took our oil rights. And listen, I know that this is going to go into the announcement that's coming. Trump is going to bring America to war again. And a lot of people are saying that the war is pretty much staged. A lot of them are saying that it's because he don't want those files released. Everybody's already murmuring and talking about this. So, I mean, look, I'm telling you, if I'm right on this one, y'all gonna be like, Breed, you was right again. A lot of y'all don't want to admit it that you come to this platform, you get a lot of news, a lot of breaking news. And a lot of people come over here and they call me a conspiracy theorist. And then all these things be happening, just like We've been over here talking about how a whole bunch of celebrities was going to start dropping dead. And like clockwork, they're dropping dead. Told you it was going to happen right around this time of the year. Yup. You don't believe me? Hold on. Just the celebrities that died in a couple of days. And one that really stands out other than Rob and his wife is Peter Green. You know, the Mask star. The guy who also starred in Pulp Fiction. Very strange death.
What fans remember most.
Very strange how he died. It was so random. So random.
If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any breaking news updates. The entertainment world is mourning the loss of veteran actor Peter Green, who has sadly passed away at the age of 60. According to reports, Peter Green was found dead inside his apartment on New York City's Lower East Side on Friday. Emergency responders were called to the scene, but he was pronounced dead shortly after they arrived. At this time, no official cause of death has been released, and authorities have stated that there is no suspicion of foul play.
No cause of death has been released. And I've been checking for the last 3 days trying to figure out what happened to this man. Only thing they saying is they heard Christmas music playing. And he was there for days. They say he was there for days, and when they found him, it was Christmas music playing. I'm just saying, all these celebrity deaths.
An investigation is still ongoing, and more details are expected to emerge in the coming days. Peter Green was best known for portraying some of the most intense and memorable characters in modern cinema. He rose to international fame for his role as Zed in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, a performance that left a lasting impression on audiences and helped define his career. He later reached an even wider audience when he starred as Dorian Tyrell, the ruthless mob boss in The Mask, alongside Jim Carrey. That role introduced him to mainstream moviegoers and further cemented his reputation as a powerful character actor. Throughout his career, Green appeared in dozens of films and television shows, including The Usual Suspects, Training Day, and numerous independent projects. He was widely respected in the industry for his ability to bring realism and depth to every role he played. Despite often being cast as villains, people who knew him personally describe Peter Green as kind, soft-spoken, and deeply passionate about acting. Colleagues have shared that he had a gentle spirit and a genuine love for storytelling that went far beyond the screen. In recent years, Green had continued working in film and was reportedly attached to upcoming projects, showing that his commitment to acting never slowed down. His passing marks a major loss for fans of gritty, character-driven performances and for an industry that benefited from his unique presence and talent. Peter Green leaves behind a legacy of unforgettable roles that will continue to be remembered and celebrated for years to come. Our thoughts and condolences go out to his family, friends, and fans during this difficult time.
Yup, another blood sacrifice. That's why they're not announcing the cause of death. Around Saturnalia, just like clockwork, people. And yeah, war is big money. War is big money. Let's see. I see some people, they in the chat. There's a couple people in the chat that they're a little bit in their feelings. They may be new to the platform. They believe everything is a conspiracy theory. They believe that the government is telling the absolute truth, and that we just a bunch of crackpots and tinfoil hatsmen. And the truth is, everything that we talk about, it ended up happening. And, you can feel how you want to feel. But there's a reason why you're here. You're here this evening because you're supposed to hear the truth. And I'm going to tell y'all, too. Everybody want to know what my thoughts are on Candace Owens? I shared it in my last stream. But Candace Owens is, she's a double agent. controlled opposition. More than likely, when she met up with Erica Kirk for that 4.5 hour sit down, she was either given a check or given a warning. But either way, y'all see that she changed her whole tune. People are saying that China and Russia will step in to help Venezuela. That's interesting. Somebody says it's awful. I loved Candace. Oh yeah, Candace, she switched up. She switched up big time. She definitely folded. And I would say she folded, but in all sincerity, she been who she's been. Let me see. George Zimmerman. Somebody named George Zimmerman sent me a donation to yell up obscenities. I'm not going to read that. Your name is George Zimmerman. Why would I care about what you got to say? Thank you for the support, but you need to change your profile name. Somebody said history is the autobiography of a madman. Somebody says a hot MAGA mess. Yes, MAGA is in a bad place right now. MAGA is going through an implosion. There's an internal war going on, but at the same time, they're owned by the you know who people. You know, they pretty much got them got them by the balls. Y'all seen Candace Owens. You know, she started off her last stream dancing to some Jewish music and acting a certain way in the name of sarcasm. And I think that was an interesting angle to take. But we know that these people are owned, paid for, bought out. We already know that. Yeah, Candace got humbly submitted. Matter of fact, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that. Because she definitely got humbly submitted in this situation. Without a shadow of a doubt. And the stage has been set. 1 minute she talking about her life insurance. You know, get her life insurance policies ready, but she's going to fight. Now look what's next. Let me see. How many years did it take for you to master the Philly shell fighting style? I learned the Philly shell fighting style in my youth. Some fighting styles come natural to others. People asking why I'm saying this about Candace Owens. Let me show you, y'all. Let me give y'all the rundown because some of y'all just joining and you don't really know where I'm going with this. Y'all give me a moment here. Let me pull this up because Candace was talking a certain way, but now she had a secret meeting. She had a secret meeting with Erica Kirk, the reptilian shapeshifter, and now she's changed her whole tone.
4.5 hours later, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm totally fine. And I'm sorry. I was going to do a show for you guys this evening, but I am truly exhausted. Very productive conversation. I asked every single question. I mean, from Egyptian planes to Turning Point USA Faith. And I was very surprised by some of the answers that I got. And I think they were also very surprised when I shared certain intel. This probably should have happened a very long time ago, but I wanted to let you guys know that I am alive and I will have the full rundown for you guys tomorrow of what transpired. And yeah, I think it was definitely a very big step.
And yes, it was private, and what they talked about was secret. Yes, it was a private meeting, but what they talked about was secret. What made it secret? We don't know what the hell they really talked about. You know why? We wasn't there. That's what made it secret, because it was private. When all of the accusations and allegations that were made were very much public. They were very much public, but their meeting was in private? Doesn't seem right. But there's more. Ever since that meeting, something switched up.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down. Okay.
It has all been just a show. A big ass nothing burger. She came in as if she was going to solve the Charlie Kirk murder mystery. She came in just a trailblazing. She was calling out everybody from Jewish people to Russians to French intelligence to Turning Point USA. Even the FBI and CIA. And it all ended up a nothing burger. Just so she can line her pockets. And then after calling out Erica Kirk, she has a secret meeting with Erica Kirk only to give you nothing. A big money grab. I said it from the beginning. I said, oh, this is a money grab. Nobody wanted to listen to me. It was a money grab.
Hey, what do you think happened? Erica said, stop. And then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like. I was sort of like, hey, I felt name checked by the podcaster, Candace Owens, this obvious setup, and then asking me to stop. And it's interesting to hear Erica say that the reason she didn't ask me to stop in the beginning, because she was actually learning things from the show. She was actually learning things. And that I think she similarly felt that Barry Weiss was trying to create a moment. Obviously, it's who Barry Weiss is. It's the Zionist lobby. One piece of this where I still don't understand it. And the magic bullet. I said, one of the reasons
Candace had no proof, no truth, no evidence, no nothing. Just a bunch of talk.
why I really want to sit down is because I want to walk out of here and feel confident saying to my audience, hey, like, there's stuff going on behind the scenes, but Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. And I said that. I want to hear why people feel so confident at Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson is the guy. And at this point, they elected to call the lawyer. What I got from the lawyer did not make me feel that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. He spoke a very long time. I asked, can you share with me what it is? And I said, when you share this with me, I will not say what that thing is. If we want to protect the integrity of the case, I'm not gonna. If you say we've got the footage of him taking a shot, I promise I won't say that to the audience. But I will communicate to them that you have something that is solid. And no, to the exact contrary.
Charlie Kirk is probably not even dead. Charlie Kirk is out there in New Zealand at Valhalla at a military base. And that's just that. Allegedly. What if I told y'all that it's a level of psychological warfare being conducted on a people that is absolutely unprecedented? What if I told you that half the things we see is not even real? There was all kind of AI specialists, holographic specialists, makeup specialists at the scene. There was trap doors. There was, listen, the whole Charlie Kirk assassination could be a whole entire play to keep us distracted. That's how deep the rabbit hole goes. Anything to keep us from focusing on our higher selves, anything to keep us from focusing on our relationship with the Creator, following His rules and regulations, and getting closer to God, and actually unlocking our true potential. What if I told you that there's deep levels of ideological subversion that takes place in the media to keep us from transcending? You would probably say, well, Breed, that sounds a little far-fetched. Well, I guess the truth is stranger than fiction. You know, a lot of people say, you're a conspiracy theorist. I've been getting that ever since I was a kid, man. I remember being a kid, being 8, 9 years old, going up to my group of friends, talking about the pyramid on the back of the dollar. 9, 10 years old. I'm like, yo, this pyramid is the all-seeing nine. It means this and it means that. Everybody always thought I was weird. I'm used to that. But just something don't sit right with all these actors that they put in front of us.
Prairie, this guy effectively said, not effectively, he said that they have nothing but the affidavit. Okay, so what you have, what we have seen is what they have. So with that in mind, I'm sitting here going, why are you signaling, why do I feel like the public's being gaslit on this? There's been nothing that's convincing. There are so many commentators who have gone out and said to you, it's overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. The text messages that don't have a date, that don't even sound real.
She's out here to push confusion. This is endless debate. Candace Owens' rabbit holes lead to nowhere. She's not leading people back to the eternal love of Jesus Christ. No. What she's doing is giving you nothing burgers. And I already see that Tania, she is on it.
That's overwhelming.
Anybody being disrespectful in the chat, Tania is going to time you out. You might get away with it a few times, but she's going to end up timing you out.
That to me feels really fake and gay. I really do want to say that to every commentator that is out there trying to tell the public and insisting that if you say it enough times it'll become real, you're actually just being dishonest. Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy.
I hear people saying, Bree, you believe you're going outside of the box. You're doing the same thing as Candace. No. We're not going to do that. See, I'm a Bible-based platform. And what I do here on this platform is I point out what's going on with the distractions. And the goal is to actually get you to pay attention to what's real. That's number one. Number two, I did not pretend that I wanted justice for Charlie Kirk only to give you a big nothing burger and then align myself with the same people that I am condemning and blaming for the death of Charlie Kirk. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not using that to line my pockets. I'm not claiming I know who killed somebody only to get people to, watch my platform. That's not what I'm doing. No, she tricked y'all. And instead of people admitting that, y'all trying to make it seem like what I'm doing is the same as what she was doing. No. We're not going to play those type of games. I would have never met up with Erica Kirk. I would have never sat up there and talked all this about Trump, right? Everything that I say about Trump, imagine this. Let's just do it this way. Y'all see all the material I put out about Trump. I put all this out about Trump, and then Trump says, you know what, this Nubreed guy, I want to have a secret meeting with him, or I want to have a private meeting with him. And then I go sit down with Donald Trump. I get invited to the White House. I get on my platform and say, y'all, you know, all this stuff I've been saying about Trump, y'all. Yeah, man. Funny story, though. You know, hey, I come over here, I come online with a MAGA hat trolling y'all. And I'm like, hey, all this stuff I was saying about Trump, you know what I'm saying, man, you know, we cleared it up, y'all. Yeah, you know, the Epstein files, man, he not really on them files, y'all. You know what I mean? We talked for about 4.5 hours. And, you know, no, don't try to do me like that. Don't try to do me like that. Nubreed, you're doing the same thing Candace Owens doing. No, I'm not. If I got invited to the White House, I'm leaving the country. I'm like, hell no, they're not cloning me. If I get invited to the White House, I'm leaving the country. I'm out of here. That's all it would take. I got some mail. Hey, we watch your platform. Cash Patel sends me a letter. We want you at the White House. You know, we want to clear things up. No, I'm not doing it because I'm not a part of these cliques. I'm not a part of this organization. I'm not a Mason. I'm not a fraternity member. I'm not none of that stuff. People have lied and said I was. People online have lied and said I was a Mason or a fraternity member. All of that is lies. If I was one, I would say I was one. And if I was one, I could not actually deny it. I would have to remain quiet about it. I could not physically, as a Mason or a fraternity member, I could not denounce those groups and organizations and be a part of those groups and organizations. You can't deny it. You can be quiet, but you can't deny it. I actively deny being a part of that stuff several times. But liars will lie. So, but nonetheless, something ain't right about this.
Some of you might get upset about what I'm about to say, but this is a scripted show meant to distract you, keep you entertained, and steal your energy. While everyone is glued to the latest drama, more surveillance is quietly passed, and your tax dollars are sent overseas. Again, while people are told to look over here, the people in power are over here, stripping away your rights and stealing away your children's future. And don't forget to buy the latest book with the perfectly bolded words, "Stop God." The sooner people realize these club members speak in symbols.
I mean, look at these people. Keep America great. Make America great again. I mean, look at them. Look at these Illuminati puppets. Puppets. This is what MAGA folks are. Look, you know, it's funny because people don't understand how occultic MAGA really is. People don't really understand the implications of repping MAGA and what it really stands for and how occultic it is. A spade is a spade. I've been saying that Candace Owens is controlled op. That's right. Elijah said it. A spade is a spade.
And coded narratives, the sooner it clicks. So I hate to burst anyone's bubble, but they're not actually fighting each other. They are on the same team.
Exactly. They were never against each other. They're on the same team to keep the people distracted.
What you're watching is not reality. It is a show. But what do I know? I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Let me know what you think.
Right. Us conspiracy theorists seem to be the most intelligent people in the world. I don't know what it is. It's like we're the only ones who got common sense. It's like we're the only ones who can see things for what they are. Everybody else is just caught up in the Hegelian dialect. But us conspiracy theorists, for some reason, we just know the truth. It can all be so simple. It can all be so simple.
I think the mistake they made, and I've said on my podcast, she should never become the CEO and chairman overnight. Because now, when people have questions, you got to answer them, right? You're just a grieving widow, which there has to be respectability for and space and allowing her to be a mother. But you very quickly decided that you were equipped to be Charlie. Well, guess what? That's going to be a trial by fire.
One moment.
Okay, Charlie had to go through it. It's painful. The public's going to go through every layer of your life. They're going to do. And so it's people go, it's not fair. You can't do what we call this is the post-school shooting thing, which is like a school shooting is such a tragic event. And then they're like, you have to listen to David Hogg and you can't question David Hogg. It's like, but I got effing questions for David Hogg, right? If you're now going to say that I have to accept him as a political leader, I'm sorry this tragedy happened to you. It's fair for me to say, David Hogg, I have why are you on CNN? And I think that's happening. And so people are feeling like, hey, it's not fair to ask her any questions because her husband just died. Okay, but they should have put in place an interim CEO. Like that's what any company would do. You would just say for a couple of months, we got to figure things out. The COO is going to become the CEO. Time to grieve and kind of address the fact that this is like a new company and like we've got to figure things out without the head of the company, so I think they made a managerial error. All is fair in love and war is what I mean. It's like that if you're going to be in that position, everyone goes through it. You're going through it, I'm going through it every day. That's what it needs to be. That's it's the downsides of fame. Like they're going to go through every area of your life. So I think Cass, she should never become the CEO and chairman overnight, because now when people have questions, you got to answer them, right? You're not just a grieving widow, which there has to be respectability for and space and allowing her to be a mother, but you very quickly decided that you were equipped to be Charlie. Well, guess what? That's going to be a trial by fire, okay? Charlie had to go through it. It's painful. The public's going to go through every layer of your life. They're going to be and so people go, it's not fair. You can't do what we call this is the post-school shooting thing, which is like a school shooting is such a tragic event. And then suddenly they're like, you have to listen.
I mean, she speaks out of two sides, man. She speaks out of two sides, but her people are catching on.
I just have one message for Candace Owens, and that is, you remember, Candace, how you spoke about how many people forgot that we, the people, like the ones that aren't in the club, we're not as stupid as you think. And today, your podcast about your meeting with Erica behind closed doors, right just in time for America Fest. According to your fans, it didn't go that well. And I'm one of them. Lost my entire platform on TikTok for just defending you against Nick Fuentes. And now I'm really wondering. Not one of these comments, Candace is supporting you. And it's not that everyone's turning on you, it's that you offered us a fucking nothing burger today.
Nothing
you didn't
burger.
ask Erica any real questions. Like, Erica, what'd your dad do for a living? Erica, why did they...
That's a real question. Erica, what did your mom and dad do for a living? These are questions that Erica Kirk was supposed to be asked publicly. These are questions that are supposed to have been asked publicly. It wasn't supposed to be no private meeting. No. Why didn't Candace keep the same energy she had with Black Lives Matter? Now I want you to think about what I just said. Candace Owens single-handedly dismantled Black Lives Matter, which I think was a good thing, by the way, because Black Lives Matter was a pretty much I want to say it was a George Soros funded some type of it's a word for it. Those lesbians called it something who pushed Black Lives Matter. They said they were trained Marxists. Yeah, the lesbians who was pushing Black Lives Matter said they were trained Marxists, and they was scamming the people. They were scamming the people. So I wasn't mad at what Candace did with Black Lives Matter, but why she didn't keep that same energy with Erica Kirk? Why does she have to have a private meeting with Erica Kirk?
They take Charlie to the hospital the farthest away. Hey, Erica, what does your mom do for a living? Erica, how much money have you made off of Charlie?
Somebody said, address your Freemason rumors like addressing these Hollywood rumors. I already did. I'm not a Freemason. What's next? I'm not a fraternity member. I'm not a Freemason. I just addressed it. I literally just addressed that moments ago.
Charlie's. And, I don't know, about 10 other questions that we'll never know. And why don't we just get to the...
So the person who told you that lied. Because a Mason cannot fit. A Freemason cannot publicly come out and say they're not a Mason. A fraternity member cannot actively come out publicly and say they're not a part of any fraternity.
Point about what the plans were about anyway. I'm done. I'm done with that. I'm done. And I'm really fucking disappointed. I just have one...
Sorry, but I'm not controlled opposition. I'm not a part of any groups. I don't work for these people. I'm not paid by any lobbyists. I'm simply a man that's motivated by truth, given the utterance by the Heavenly Father, the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I've been saved and sanctified. And it's not because of my deeds. It's not because of my works. It's because of his name's sake. That's what makes this platform great. That's what makes me who I am. Not that I had to position myself in any way or compromise in any way. I'm simply a servant of the Almighty God, the true and living God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's why I am who I am. And that's simple as that. That's simple as that. Let me see. Somebody said, is Jesus going to return in our lifetime? He very well could. He very well could. Let me see. Somebody says, in the name of Fred Ops, hold on. Didn't Candace tell us she was a Mason? Yeah, she said she was a Mason. What Candace said was she's a Mason in Turning Point. And she used it a pun in words. Let me see. Ethnic, thank you for the support, says the creators who accused you of being a Mason may be Masons and wear those hats. MAGA is Masonic, and the pics of her and Kurt settles it. Exactly. Anybody who's walking around, wearing MAGA hats accusing me of being a Mason, I mean, you just got to look at the situation. You just got to look at it for what it is. God's Property says, say that brother Nubreed, FBA at his finest. Exactly. If I was a Mason, I would tell you I'm a Mason. And I would tell you exactly what we believe and all of this and all of that. But that's not my thing. That's just not my thing. But I'm glad people asked about that. But no, it's just not true. That is a stretch. Somebody says, yeah, that's what Candace did. She admitted to being Candace admitted to being a Mason at Turning Point, but she said it in a way where you can believe she was saying a builder of Turning Point. But I believe that Candace Owens is completely Masonic. She came in with Turning Point. She met the Pope and she became a Roman Catholic and she denounced Christianity to become a Catholic. Some of the props that she have in her live stream setting. I mean, Candace Owens is clearly occultic. Somebody says you are in partnership with them. No, I'm not in partnership with anyone. Thank you, Tania. I know that you deleted that message. That was okay. That person can say that, but it's not true. They're speculating. Somebody says he was resurrected to heaven and Michael the archangel. Oh, okay. She got you. She got rid of you. I'm not gonna question Tania. If you repeat yourself, if you spam my comment section, she gonna get you out of there. She gonna get you out of there. She's a very strong moderator over here, and she don't play no games. And pretty soon I'm gonna have to give out a few more. I'm gonna have to give a few more wrenches out. Yeah, the moderators don't play over here, so you got to come respectful. We don't tolerate negativity or disrespect on this platform. Now, as far as these assumptions and accusations, look, I said what I said, and that's that. And I know that
Message for Candace Owens.
I know that sometimes the lies can be more entertaining than the truth. But when it comes to these elitists, the things that they're into, you just don't want to believe it. Because in these instances with these puppets, the truth is stranger than fiction. First Thessalonians says, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. That's right. What Bible are you using? King James Version. King James Version. Yup. But you know what we do on here, man. We building. Somebody says people love drama more than putting in work. Sad state of affairs. That's right. And in case y'all new to the platform, people who are just joining, welcome to the drama-free environment. Because over here we're gonna be learning, getting edified. Ethnic post: Joseph was an Egyptian governor and married the daughter of one. He was a man of God, and God put him in that position. They want to ignore that. Yes. Okay, so some of y'all, I think a lot of the new people, they done came in and came out. But since my day ones are in here now, we might as well chop it up about this. The reason why you're hearing these speculations or these assumptions or accusations is because I actually own my own travel agency. I own my own travel agency. And I was introduced to some people who are very successful in the travel industry who happen to be a part of fraternities. Not that they're Masons, but they may have some connection with some type of, those fraternities that people take in college. Now, just because I met these people doesn't mean that I am part of a fraternity or any Masonic organizations. These are what you call peers in the same industry that I'm in. Peers that happen to be in the same industry. You have people at your job. Example would be, there's people at your job right now that some of y'all work at that are Masons. There's some people at your job that you work at right now that are probably sadists. Some are Muslim, some are Christian. You may not necessarily believe everything they believe, but they're still your peers. Right? And the interesting part is it took people online to stalk these people and find out their personal information that was unbeknownst to me. Because I'm a person, I'm always networking, moving around, doing what I do, meeting new people. So imagine you online, unbeknownst to you, Anybody you seen with is being stalked. Yeah, oh, they were part of a fraternity back in college. They took some fraternity thing back in college. Okay, that don't have nothing to do with me. I haven't taken a fraternity. And I had opportunities to be part of a fraternity back in college. Didn't do it. Just not my thing. No disrespect to people who decided to. I just don't agree with it. And so people got on the internet and they lied. It's just really that simple. Let me see. Somebody said Joseph Coate was the glory of God because he was shining and had dreams and visions even as a child. Right. Yeah. And I did cover that multiple times, but lies travel quicker than the truth. And somebody says, I feel betrayed by Candace and I unsubscribed. I don't blame you. There needs to be hundreds of thousands of more people who unsubscribe from Candace Owens, if you ask me. Y'all need to be giving y'all's attention to real platforms like mine and others. There's a handful of other brothers and sisters who actually speak the truth without trying to grandize themselves. But nonetheless, this one was a good one, man. We got more material coming. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for joining. We got more coming. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know down in the comment section if you can really see why Trump actually mocked Rob Reiner at this point. More material coming. Peace and blessings.